Hello, everyone. This is episode 3 of our Primetime Adventures game set during the French Resistance. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. And let's go around the table and get an intro from our characters, our players first, and then our characters, and then maybe do a quick previously on for the last episode, if people can remember. Let's go in character keeper order, I guess. So Pearl.
Sorry. Muting and things. I'm Pearl. I use she and her pronouns. And you said to do the character and last time on now or after?
Yeah, you may as well do it now, if that's okay.
Yeah. I just am, as ever in my travels, working off of my phone. So I'm playing Sophie Garnier. She is in her somewhere around 19 or 20. I don't think we've really established. But basically, post high school, did not go to university because she was horrified about the human rights atrocities. And last time we saw her, she had just lived through her first sort of bombing raid, which shook her a lot. She is no less idealistic in terms of the cause, but is having some doubts about herself. She thought she could just be like the brave hero who would fight in any circumstance. And it turns out that war is scary and terrible, and that even when you really care about it, you don't always know what you're up for until you're in a circumstance. And Sophie has learned that the hard way. And last we saw, she was kind of huddled in a corner in the storeroom, sort of trying to process what had happened. And Pierre, who she has not typically been best buds with, came over and helped her out. And that also gave her a lot to think about. So Sophie's in an introspective, not great place at the moment, but still determined to right the wrongs and whatnot, just in a very shaky sort of way.
Great, thanks. And David.
Hi, my name is David. I use he, him pronouns. This evening I am playing Etienne Martin. He's a young man about 17 or so. He works on the docks as an engineer, mechanic type. He is a card-carrying member of the Communist Party, and obviously a member of the Resistance. Last time we saw, in sort of the clips in the previously on for Etienne, we'll see kind of a scene of him having a verbal altercation with Jean Artaud, the one of the leading figures in our resistance cell, and also the head of the shipwrights union that he works as. We'll see some shots of him breaking into sort of a locked room in the hospital and escaping through the streets of Calais with a satchel full of medicine as the bombing raid takes place. Also, my voice is giving out a little bit, so apologies.
Thanks, David. And Pavel.
Hello, I'm Pavel. I use he, him pronoun, and I am portraying Pierre Bernard, who also uses he, him pronoun. Pierre is a ex-retired combat engineer from First World War. Currently, he's working as a doctor in a local hospital, and he's having some guilt about working in this hospital and really helping more Germans than the French people. And so he joined the resistance, and he's trying to get to be recognized as a valid member rather than being constantly suspected of being a spy and collaborating with the enemy. And last time on, what was the most interesting? I think the most impactful for Pierre was when the bombing was happening. Pierre had to fight his some memories from the First World War, but he, if I believe correctly, overcame his fears, and he went out from his office and started commanding the hospital crew in securing the patients and helping people wounded coming in. So he managed himself to get out of the bad memories.
Yeah. Okay, so I think our teaser or cold open in today's episode, I think we see probably not a section of the local gendarmerie, the local office, where the Gestapo have made their headquarters. Not somewhere that you as characters have seen at all, and hopefully won't. Who knows? There's a dank corridor, maybe in the sub-basement, where we see Herr Wagner, the head of the local Gestapo unit, looking at some notes before entering into an interrogation cell. And inside we find an orderly, a young orderly from the hospital. His name is, we probably haven't seen him on screen, but you probably know who he is. His name is George Lepret. And he looks a bit worse for wear. He has been gone over by the Gestapo in some way. But I think really what we see here is Wagner puts a file of some photos or some official paperwork of George's family. He knows who George is and who his closest family members are, and he is using this information to get some dirt from George, some leak that maybe George might rather not give. And I think the door closes, to hide the look on George's face, which is obviously kind of stricken as he realizes what's happening here. And the clank of the door echoes in the kind of dank basement, and that's when we roll the credits. Yeah. So the noose tightens, right? The Gestapo are on everyone's trail.
Can you please remind us, Dono, our next time on from last episodes, and also can you put this George into somewhere his name, because we will probably should refer to him at some point. And what was his position at the hospital?
An orderly, so someone who does relatively low skilled work, but maybe moves things or helps prepare equipment and such.
Okay.
So I guess maybe someone who's not noticed by very many people, but someone who knows who everyone is. I'll put his name in the character cube in a minute. The next on. The next on for Sophie was her overhearing something that draws suspicion on Pierre. And for Etienne, it was he and Remy, one of the other members of the cell, drinking at a cafe and enjoying each other's companies as some Germans walk in. And then for Pierre, it was treating the prospect of having to treat and save a resistance fighter with Wagner looking over his shoulder. So if you want to think about who wants to take the first scene, I will write a note about George in the character keeper.
Let's jump into this meeting. I think the scene will be in our previously seen underground place, our resistance cell. I think it's a meeting, and I definitely think that who would be there? Definitely Jean Artaud has to be there, and I'm thinking, let's throw Lydia Boyford over there because we haven't seen her on the screen. Our frazzled English intelligence officer, and I think it's just next door from Sophie's place, or maybe next to the kitchen where the Sophie can sit and listen on as we are arguing. And yes, I think the situation is that Jean Artaud wants to send Pierre to get rid of Herr Wagner because he's getting too close. Maybe we actually, I think his argument is that maybe Herr Wagner captured someone from the hospital and that he's getting too close to other resistance members, so he has reasons to get rid of him.
So I think so. Do we think this is a personal scene for Pierre, or is this really the mission of the week? What's the emphasis here?
I think
it feels.
I think it should be a plot scene. Something about. I think Pierre would like to convince the others either not to move against Herr Wagner because the situation will get worse, or at least not to do it in the hospital. So we'll see. But I think this should be a plot scene.
Okay. So Jean Artaud is looking very carefully at Pierre. You realize, of course, that if he discovers your true allegiances, your prudence in this matter will not be useful at all. The prudent thing at this point is to excise him from our lives.
And I think this is the middle of the meeting, so Pierre is already rattled, and he's standing and speaking loudly, which I will not be because I have to be patient of my flatmates. But he's really angry, and he says, and he hits the table, and he says, "And what do you think will happen next? They will send 2, 5, 10 more officers. They will know something is up here. What if they close up the hospital? Where the people of the they will know something is going on. You wanna get rid of him? I don't know. Find an opportunity to lure him out of town. But we can't do it right here. If he vanishes, then it's on our way. And if he's shot in a plain sight in the hospital."
Well, I think the operational details of this killing are yet to be decided. I don't really mind if you push him down the stairs or drug him or shoot him in the back of the head. But he, I think, must die. And you are best placed to do so.
And he stands and he come on, Lydia, support me this one. Yes, I know I'm often meeting with him and that he would not suspect me, but if anyone will see me doing this, I'm burned as a doctor I'm bird as a citizen of this town. I'll have to live here in this hall where we are all right now, and will not be able to leave it for the, who knows, till the big plan comes over. Like, this is like my entire life can go in ruin if anyone sees me doing the deed.
So
I'm not questioning it should be done, but can't you just like find someone disposable? Yeah, this is like so brutal for him to say.
So I think Lydia is kind of nodding along with some of your points, and as soon as you say disposable, she looks at you. Pierre, what did you think was going to happen when you signed up to join the resistance?
I thought I'm going to help us. The French got our independence.
And if you say your life will be over, do you mean that in some kind of a social cachet manner, or actually you'll be dead? Because it seems to me like you're worried about your reputation.
Wow, that's a nice twist. That's a good punchline. That's a good punchline. Wow, I think this should now be like resolved as a character scene, because I wonder if he will go cowardly on this one.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So what do you think this is the decision point, or do you think you want to play through that new angle a little bit before we do that?
And do you want one of the other of us to come in and complicate it, or no?
Sure, come in. Like, this is the point where Pierre
kind of where I was thinking.
This is the moment where Pierre is about to answer, and I think we should draw the dice. We should draw the cards, because I'm not sure how he will answer, and then continue on. But yeah, if one of you wants to come in, sure.
I think Sophie would come in at this point. Like, she was probably in her next room where she makes the fake IDs and other notifications. Like, had her hand on the machine and then just kind of froze as she was listening to everything going on. And she's kind of inwardly torn for a moment, because she's had her suspicions about Pierre, but after the other day, she's like sort of been turning and realizing that there are ambiguities in war, and this line of questioning is not sitting well with her. So she's gonna burst into the room, if that's all right, Donna.
Yeah, so if you spend a fan mail, you can just barge in.
I will
spend
a fan mail. If anyone wants to mark that on the sheet so I don't have to poke at my phone, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I will do it.
And the person who said the thing about like reputation or death, was that Lydia or was that Jean?
That was Lydia.
Okay. So I'm going to come in. We're all on the same side here. Sorry if I was eavesdropping, but not that sorry, because what do you care what his motivation is, as long as he's following orders that help the resistance or doing what's best? I've been in that hospital. I've seen him having to negotiate the lines between Germans and resistance members and Frenchmen. And what are you doing? Right? You're not putting your own life on the line. So why would you speak to one of us that way?
I'm not putting my life on the line?
No, you send other people to put their life on the line.
That's funny, because My very presence in this country is a death sentence.
So is all of ours at this point.
No, only if you're proven to be a resistance member.
And so you think that other people should make that decision under derisive commentary from you?
No. What I was doing was merely trying to interpret what Pierre was saying. It seemed like he was more upset about his future reputation than anything else, and that is very curious to me.
I mean, I've had my moments with Pierre, but he has a family here. You want someone with nothing to lose, send me. I hate Herr Wagner. I don't have a wife. I don't have a whole life built up here. Send me.
I mean, I'm not ordering anyone. I'm not making any suggestions. Jean here is, I think, correctly suggesting that Pierre is best placed to kill Wagner.
Everybody knows him at the hospital.
Yeah, I think your intervention gave Pierre the moment to cool off and just okay, now I don't have to give the answer that she asked, and Pierre says, yes, I think if you assign both of us to this mission, we have a little bit more flexibility, and we can definitely pull it off, and still have a doctor with an access to the medicine at the hospital and have the deed done. For me alone, it would be very hard. So yeah, I think we should assign both of us to this mission. If Sophie here is willing to help, yeah.
I'm in. We need someone in the hospital more than we need someone like me. So if that increases the odds, we get it done.
Jean kind of looks sideways at Pierre and says, I mean, my fear is that sending someone like you in, Sophie, is going to make the likelihood of the mission succeeding lower and not higher.
Thought it went well last time I had to infiltrate the hospital. Is there a reason you don't have faith in similar success?
Because trying the same trick twice rarely works, in my experience.
I don't know. I mean, I was about to be trained as the new nurse, right? As far as anyone knew, it would make sense for me to be in and not really knowing where everything is yet, and maybe bumbling around, possibly dangerously.
Yeah, we already started building the cover identity for Sophie, so we can follow up with this one and have it done in a day or two, and then I just think that having both of us over there can means that if the situation goes bad, at least one of us can get the shot at Herr Wagner. So yeah, military and Pierre just turns out to be a little bit more confident, and he says, assigning 2 soldiers to one to the target is better than assigning 1. If you're familiar with the military tactics, snipers are working in pairs. You have the shooter and you have the spotter. So with 2 of us, we have good chance. And maybe let's go to the cards.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of arguments over scene. So I think we will. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Pearl. I think we are staying on target for this being a plot scene, but now about convincing to involve more people.
Okay. So yeah, what I mean, I think you're probably getting your retired combat engineer edge because you kind of brought in something about military tactics.
I think I'm going to pull off only Lydia connection because she's here, and so I will be having 4 cards.
Okay. And I'll spend, I think, 3. Okay.
Should I be adding cards? I'm like have a pretty vested interest in this situation.
So sorry, I'll spend 2 to draw 3. Sorry, that's what I'll do. You can spend 1 as well if you wanted to.
You can only sort of spend fan mail. You cannot help with your presence or with your skills.
Okay. I have 2 left. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend 1. I think this is pretty important to Sophie. I think the reason that she burst in so aggressively is that she's pretty angry about not having been told about the bombing. It is not trusting the higher ups. So I'm imagining she's feeling pretty strongly about the situation.
Cool. So you want me to draw first?
Yeah, if you draw first. And so you're not spending any personal fan mail, right?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with this going both ways because I'm sure that if Sophie will not get assigned, she will just go anyway. I won't have her officially assigned. So I'm fine with this going both ways. 5 cards. Seems solid. And you get a budget.
Yeah. And I got 2 and not the highest card. So you got King High.
Yeah, so that means the best results. You get what you want and to keep it together. Yeah, so Pierre sorts of after doing his earlier argument about 2 snipers, he just look confidently at Jean Artaud, and he says, well, if there are any doubts about getting the deed done, I'm sure that having Sophie with me will assure that he will not leave the hospital alive, seeing her dedication. What say you, Jean?
That's okay for me. Just make sure you get the job done. And then I think he kind of leaves the details of the operation to you. Maybe if you need help or discussion of details, you can come back. But I think he just says at the end of that discussion, just be aware that a military solution will have military repercussions.
Yeah, and I think closing the scene, Pierre just looks at Lydia, and as a finishing line, he throws, "Well, thanks for support. You were really helpful in this meeting."
Okay, so who wants the next scene?
I think we could, just to make sure that we get David on screen and then can work out how he figures in everything else. Maybe we could do the scene with him in the cafe. Sort of just like a hard cut.
Yeah, sure. I think that works for me.
So, yeah. So I guess it seems like a personal scene to me, David. Is that your take?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see it being particularly a plot scene.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the scene is pretty much what was established in the next time on from last time. So I think after sort of finishing up their day at work, Remy and Etienne are set up at the bar in is it Marie's Cafe?
Yeah.
Sorry. And that I think that's sort of where we come in on them. And I think Etienne is his I think it says he's sort of drinking a beer, and he says, when my brother went off to Spain, I wanted to go with him, and I mean, I know I was far too young back then, but I just, I wish I could have been with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Spain was messy, Sounds a bit strange to be saying that here with everything going on, but I'm not sure he would have wanted you to be there.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. What was it like when you faced the Germans when they first invaded?
I mean, the old guard thought they knew everything, right? They'd beaten the Germans last time, and they thought they knew all the answers, and nothing we could do worked. Yeah, everything that we thought of was the wrong answer. The Germans were like 5 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, it must have been hard, I guess. I'd know sometimes. And I think he does kind of look around the cafe at that minute just to make sure there's sort of no one, nearby. But he says, "I know it sounds stupid, but sometimes I think it would almost be easier if we could just, face them head on rather than all this sneaking about."
I mean, if you want to go on a suicide mission, there's plenty going. I don't think it's tempting, right? But all we can do is keep them busy, make them pay attention more to us than to what's happening next. I'm just looking forward to to our friends finally arriving on these shores and surprising them.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't be too much longer now.
I mean, I'm sure when that happens, there'll be plenty of direct confrontation.
Yeah, it's I want to see them gone. They've been here too long already.
I mean, it'll probably sound very strange, but I just want to get out of this city. We've been stuck in here, not being able to travel for so long.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And everywhere else they are too, and sorry. Yeah, I think I don't know. It's these last years have been crazy, and I don't know, how did it get like this? Just
I mean, I don't have any idea. If I was good at that kind of stuff, I'd be doing something else. But, everyone who thinks they have an idea of what's going on, everyone who wants to have their hand on the tiller, I don't think they really have an idea more than we do.
yeah, maybe you're right. But I guess it's just down to people like us to do what we can and try and get things working.
I mean, with people like you by my side, I'm sure we'll be able to dish out as much revenge as we can.
Yeah, I'll do my best to I'll do my best.
So does this seem like a point where we're going to test Etienne's confidence?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm only at what do you call it? Screen presence 1 today.
I mean, I think we have Remy in the scene, obviously.
We do. So yeah, I'm going to call on Remy for another one. I think I'm going to call on my plucky young revolutionary as well, as that feels relevant.
Okay.
And I will spend a fan mail.
Okay. And I will go with 2 budget.
Cards. Well, that's 4 blacks, but that does have
ace high as well, huh?
It does have an ace high, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The ace of diamonds. Well, club still counts as high, so
all right, cool.
Higher than diamonds. So the alphabet is a cruel and harsh mistress, as I like to say. Okay, so that is an impersonal scene. Just remind myself.
Yeah.
You give into your impulse, but there is a silver lining.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's going to be it. Actually, just looking at my impulse. So, I think actually when I'll kind of reframe that last moment of the scene slightly, and I think he does kind of he like slams his hand down on the bar, and sort of stands up and says, "Yeah, you can count on me, Remy. Together we'll see that they're pushed back out of our country, and we're free again from the Germans." And he's speaking quite loudly at this point without any sort of regard for who may be around and who may be listening.
So I think Remy maybe hushes you and kind of grabs your elbow and sits you back down, and maybe kind of remarks to Marie behind the counter that you've had one too many small beer today. He knows that she's on side and maybe relying on her to gloss over this outburst a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Pearl, did you want to frame a scene?
So I've been trying to think the best way. I'd like to somehow draw Etienne in a little bit on this situation with Pierre and Sophie, but not bring him on the mission, just like let him know what's going on, because he's one of Sophie's closest friends, I think. So maybe could we do a scene where Sophie and Pierre are discussing the upcoming thing, maybe in Sophie's little office, and Etienne comes in midway through? Does that sound good to people?
Sure, yeah, that works for me.
But if the only purpose of the scene is to inform Etienne, then we can we can inform him off the screen. So the scene should have some other purpose than just involving him, because we can tell him off the screen.
Yeah, like if he knows later on, it's not going to be any surprise to anyone, right? We can,
yeah.
Unless you think there's something kind of meaningful for Sophie's kind of.
I guess I was basing it on the scene that Etienne just had, where he sort of came out of it feeling, it seemed like renewedly, that he might have some opinions on the situation. Like Sophie kind of jumped into it without thinking. And I don't think she's having second thoughts or anything, but I was wondering whether Etienne might, I don't know. I didn't have a concrete thing so much as I thought it was cool that Etienne was ending that scene, with the having to be held back. And so that is not a good idea. Someone else should just come up with an idea, because I didn't really have a follow through other than that I was curious about his.
If we can add some conflict over there, the three of us can be staking out the Gestapo HQ, trying to like take turns in following Wagner, because I don't suppose we know where he lives. Maybe we want to find it out, or some other reasons. That's some idea. Other than that, Sophie can be like really recklessly preparing, I don't know, a bomb or like a machine, and to just like go in and do it.
Like,
and we just like,
blow up the
whoa,
hospital.
whoa, chill, cool down. We need like to scout the thing, plan it, and it's, no, I'm going in. And well,
I mean, that's not terribly out of character, although she was pretty shaken last time.
Yeah, she's reckless, so...
I think maybe... like maybe there could be a character scene with Sophie and Etienne in which she says, like, I don't know if I'm coming back from this one, and I'll need you to carry on the fight, because she's probably going to be reckless unless someone stops her. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds
yeah,
good.
that sounds good.
Okay. Where do you think we should frame it? Like in my little office place, or in... Probably not in the cafe. I think nobody should ever talk to Sophie in the cafe. I think everyone has figured out by now that it's just not a good plan in terms of secrecy. So, do you want to like come storming back to the safe house all full of renewed vigor to figure out what the latest goings on are?
Yeah, sure, that sounds good.
Okay. So say I'm, sort of putting ideas together and trying to like calm myself down and failing. And I hear your voice out there, and I'm like, Etienne, is that you?
Hey, Sophie, how are you? He'll sort of come into your office, or come over to your office.
Yeah, can you close the door?
Sure thing. He'll close the door behind him.
How are you feeling about things?
A little better, I think. It was...
Yeah?
I mean, what happened the other night, I wasn't expecting that, but we got it done. We got the job done, and it'll help people. I think, I don't know, I think we're going to win this.
Good. I think we need to win.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes is...
Exactly.
So I need to ask something of you.
Of course, whatever I can do.
I kind of just volunteered myself for a mission that I think is really important. It's going along with Pierre, something at the hospital. I don't want to get you too involved.
Of course, but that's good.
If for some reason I don't make it back, I need to know that someone here is gonna be as fierce-hearted as I've been. We're a team, right?
Of course we are, and
you'll have to fight like twice as hard. I need you to, like, if this doesn't work out, and I'm gonna try to make it work out, but there's never any guarantee. Are you gonna? I need you to fight for both of us.
I will do if I need to. If not, we'll both of us fight for two. I'm sure you can pull this off, whatever it is you're doing. You're smart and you're driven, and I'm sure there's nothing that can stand between you and well, whatever.
Thank you. I wish I had the faith in myself that you seem to in me. After that bombing raid, I haven't been so sure that I'm up to the task. It's a big target we're after in saving the world, you know?
Yeah, I know but I guess that just means it's like I said, just means we've got to work hard for it.
Harder, stronger, braver.
Yeah.
Well, I guess then that's what I'll do. But I'm gonna leave my heart here with you. And if I come back, give it back. And if I don't, use it. Fight harder. And I guess if I don't, tell Lydia and John to keep their I told you so's to themselves, yeah?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right. I gotta go prepare. And sort of clap you on the shoulder. Keep my hand there for a second.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Just keep up the good fight. Remember why we're doing this. If I do make it back, I think I'm probably gonna need a friend, so.
Well, I'll be here for you when you get back.
I know you will. Make sure of it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And then I think a rare moment of vulnerability, just like a big hug, head down. Because Sophie's very afraid. Tell me this is the right thing at the end.
Yeah, it's the right thing. Obviously I don't want to see you get hurt, but we've got to take risks or
That's right.
we'll never get anywhere.
All right. No, you're right. You're right. That's why we're here. And we're going to win this because of that. All right.
Okay, so is this where we see Sophie's anger boil up, or where her idealism shows?
Anger. Maybe the recklessness. I'm always bad at remembering to have like specific conflict in mind. Help me out here, people. It's the way she'd be reckless.
It's sort of hard when you drive to the end of the scene and then you draw cards. You should drive into
the
stuff happening in the middle.
I forgot. Sorry. It was, or I don't know. Maybe I thought it would happen naturally and it didn't.
Well, I mean, this is the closest I've seen so far that kind of hits the conflict, of her trying to get away with just being simply idealistic about it.
I'm thinking, okay, sorry about my Captain America socks, but in some ways
very apt.
Yeah, so maybe what it is that she sort of let herself swing into vulnerability and a bit of fear, and like in her attempts to pull herself together and become brave again, she might swing too far the other direction and become reckless. So that would be something I would draw cards over, like having had sort of the moment of collapsing into the hug and like asking for reassurance. She needs to steel herself, and can she do so in a level-headed way is the question. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Let me see what I have to draw on in the character sheet. I feel like it's not much. Wait, I think I might have just unchecked Lydia for you. I just rechecked it. I feel like I'm scrolling and accidentally checking off boxes, so I apologize. Please check them. It seems like I'm doing that. Yeah, no, I don't think any of my like edges or anything play into this. Unless I'm like charismatically convincing myself, which seems unlikely. So I guess I'm just gonna roll with the basic.
Just 2
What,
for your screen
2?
presence, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll throw in a one of my fan mail for support.
Thank you.
Okay. And I will spend 2 to draw 3.
Oh, evenly matched.
And I will spend 1 in favor of the producer.
What?
I wanna see this recklessness drive you.
You'll see it. It's gonna come out sooner or later. But all right, you want me to go first for you, Donna?
You can go first.
Wait, what just happened?
I cleared the.
Okay, so I think I have 3 cards ready to submit. Oh man, it's not doing anything when I hit it.
Okay. Do you want me to do it for you, or
no? I think it's going this time.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So not bad for 3 cards.
Pretty good. Ouch! Not good enough.
No? Are you?
Oh,
because you had 4.
Yeah, I got 3. Well, the last one, Pavel's card didn't actually help me. It was the 5 of spades, but I got 3 red. But you still have.
You did. I have the highest.
You still have highest. So
I made myself a chart for the dice results. So I did not get more red cards, but I do have the highest card, and it's a character scene, right?
Yeah.
So that means that I do not get I want, and there are consequences. Or I don't do what I want, and there are consequences. Did I label those wrong?
I think we trigger your...
my impulse is provoked.
Yeah.
I labeled them wrong as character and plot. So I should quickly say this. Yeah, so...
but there's some kind of silver lining.
Okay, so... Right. Okay. So I sort of finally look up after this hug. You can see sort of like my eyes are a little bit red, but sort of shake it off. That's right. We're here to win this. We're not here to cry and whatever else. And I'm not letting everyone here put their lives on the line without cause. I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go find Pierre, and we're going to get this done now before there's time to do anything else. And then sort of do the shoulder clap again. I'm counting on you, Etienne. I'll see you when we get back. And storms out, like past everybody else, sort of ignoring everyone. Has anyone seen Pierre? Has anyone seen Pierre?
So
I don't know where Pierre is. So I don't know where I'm going.
So is the silver lining that you think you find Pierre quickly, or that someone else helps you out? What do you have anything in mind for that? Someone who sees your anger boil over, but helps you out anyway.
I mean, I was thinking the silver lining in terms of being a character scene was that she gets her courage back. Like doesn't fold under the pressure and regains her sense of self that she had sort of lost in the bombing. But if there needs to be a more mechanical thing, then having Pierre nearby would certainly be helpful.
I mean, we don't need to be so direct. We can, like, when we go into Act 2 next, we can just have that happen on whatever kind of timeline. The kind of gets her confidence back. Got to keep moving forward. Don't look back. Don't think about what happened the other day. Kind of makes a lot of sense for a personal scene to me.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking I would take it.
Okay, cool. And do we get any kind of look at Etienne after Sophie goes off, or is it very much camera on her?
I think it's probably mostly camera on her. Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly like when we see her go out, it's like a POV from Etienne, but yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So that's the end of Act 1. I think we should take a break. Do we think I have 9:42 my time, but we say, or 9:43 just changed. So say 10 to the hour. Does that suit everyone? Okay, cool. You see it in a few minutes then. Watch
Hi.
a TV commercial.
Oh, okay.
Well, you don't
feel like I
wait till
should-
the others.
I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I should like turn off my camera because it's like it feels silly to read it with my face because I'm not like a deep voice TV announcer. But I don't know. I almost want to like send it to one of you to read in like a deep manly voice, like they do for action shows. But maybe I should just do that. No, I'll just read it. So, okay. A great evil has risen. Those who have enough heart have heeded the call to fight, but in a war where the opposition is all around you, who can you trust? Each mission means lives won and lost, possibly even a turning point for the war. A young woman, passionate as she is reckless. A young man with a troubled past, driven to prove his worth. And a doctor who has learned the hard way that wars are not won through altruism alone. Impossible odds, incredible bravery, harrowing deeds, a cause worth dying for. Primetime Adventures, Resistance.
Nice.
That's my little commercial.
We have to send it to someone else playing Primetime Adventures to get a spot during their ad breaks.
That would be great.
We will reciprocate next week.
Yeah. It turns out that the show opposite ours is like a cartoon show about like talking cats.
Yeah. Maybe not appropriate to advertise our show on theirs, but hey.
I was occasionally traumatized by ads for inappropriate things during kids' shows or before movies when I was a kid. So,
Okay.
you know.
It would be so fun to have another group playing Primetime Adventures at the same time as us, and just like we advertise their show in our commercial break, and they us, and it would be like so.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Or like if they were doing like a time traveling show, and we could have like a crossover episode.
I'll totally have this as an episode of Timeless, you know.
It'd be so good. Like someone's coming back to help the war effort.
Special guest star.
That would be so rad.
Yeah.
All the Netflix superhero shows do it. It's very confusing. You have to figure out what order to watch them in. I love it.
This is completely off topic, but continuing off topic, but we used to have Buffy fests. We used to watch, and this was, and then when we got to the Angel timeline, we used to watch every second episode. So like we'd watch an episode of Buffy, and then we'd like take out it was VCR. We used to take out the tape and then put in the Angel tape and watch the Angel episode and then go back and forth.
That's adorable.
Actually, the only advantage I've ever seen to VCR is that when you put in the VCR the next time, it's in the exact same spot. You don't need to go through the menu. You know.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true. Unless you're trying to return a video to a rental place and you forget to rewind. That's like capital offense right there.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the image in my mind of you having Buffy and Angel marathons with your VHS tapes. Thank you for sharing that anecdote. It has cheered me. Captain America socks approved.
Captain America socks approved. Okay.
We can actually get a commercial of Captain America First Avenger in our show because it's the same timeline.
Yeah. Punching Nazis approved. Yeah. Okay. So Act 2, right? So this is where we start to escalate, right? And today, I think we kind of agreed last week that we're probably much happier with a 3-act structure. We're not rushing, and we don't have to cut at the end. So, so I guess we know what we're aiming for. Does anyone want to go first, or Pavel, do you want to jump in head first, or do you want to build up to your segment in this act?
Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm usually jumping in first. I have some couple of ideas. I guess I will go in first. So the scene takes place in this Gestapo HQ that you have shown us in the trailer, and I think I'm not sure if so. The idea is that Gestapo has brought in Pierre for questioning. Now, if some of the other characters want to jump in and be there and be also captured, that's cool. But I'm not gonna force anyone over there. So I think it will be only Pierre, unless someone else wants to be captured by Gestapo as well.
I guess the question is, what were you captured doing? 'Cause if it was something relating to the mission that we have coming up, I imagine I would have been captured as well.
I totally envision we are following up the trailer, and Pierre is brought for questioning because of this information provided by George. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
So I think that will be the thing, and the thing is that he will like try to lie about his innocence and like prove it, and like try to somehow prove it, or else on the failing he will have to like give in and like throw the blame on someone else and give up some of their resistance fighters, and this will be like really complicated later on. So yeah, it is somehow mission related because the Wagner will be there, but I just think it's like showing up some troubles that they are also active. That's the idea.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Sophie, do you wanna? So I don't think it makes sense for you to be brought in for questioning as well. Yeah, so I think it's Pierre, and maybe we like, of course, see the camera just like someone in like the back on his head is like brought into this like interrogation room, and her Wagner enters, and then we see from like Pierre's perspective as they like remove the bag from his head, and yeah, and there's her Wagner, and he wants to. I think he's line of questioning from what he could get from I forgot the name of the rat.
George.
George, is that they found out that Pierre is signed on all of the like approval for the access to the medical room of all the people they are suspecting, or that were suspected, or something like this, and they are like questioning him over this. So I think this will be like the plot scene. Pierre wants to like convince that this is like forgery or something else, and probably he might need to like give up some of the resistance fighters. Who knows? So we'll see.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I think that's a great framing, right? The audience just sees this person being dragged in and sat down, and they have no idea that it's Pierre until the hood comes off. And I think we see Wagner sitting across the table from you, probably playing with a cigarette, not quite lit up yet. His legs crossed, kind of off kilter from the table, very kind of casual. And he seems friendly, right? I think he apologizes. Monsieur Bernard, it's unfortunate that we have to meet like this, but sometimes my colleagues insist that things like this be done by the book.
Herr Wagner, I was not expecting a meeting. I thought we had like a good understanding and could meet in the hospital. But of course, what is the purpose? Why was you brought here in the middle of the night?
It's true. I thought we had a good understanding too. And then I think he lights a cigarette and offers it to you. And I think it's, you reach for it naturally, but you're manacled to the table or something like this. It's a jarring. And I think, we see him maneuvering you. He knows exactly what people do normally, and he is just playing at his power, right? And so I think he has to do something a little bit, I don't know, demeaning or making you feel like like a not entirely capable adult by like putting the cigarette in your mouth himself.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, definitely, smokes allows me to like release this emotion. So, Herr Wagner, how can I be of assistance?
Well, some of my people have brought it to my attention that all of this missing medicine that I'm sure you are aware of because you are the responsible one, is in some way connected to your signature. Everyone who has access to that storage room, to those cabinets, has been approved by you. Somewhat improbably, I would have said.
Pierre tries to look shocked and tries to put on like I have no idea what are you talking about, and he says, of course, Herr Wagner, I'm aware that even recently there was like a huge theft of medical supplies just before the bombing. They were like really, they could have come in to be really helpful, but I'm sure this is like, I don't know, a forgery. The whoever did it must be like good at forging stuff, and I'm probably their target because I'm a Frenchman and I'm working with you. So I don't. I'm not very well welcomed by other French people. So I think they just like are using me because they know my position in the hospital and that nobody will question my signature. But if Herr Wagner, if I knew anything, I would definitely tell you. Like,
I mean, I understand completely. Whoever you signed in, who took this, you didn't sign them in. It was a forgery. All the other signatures are real, but the one for the person who did it, that's a fake. I see. That's these traitors to the French nation, unlike yourself, are truly geniuses. And I suppose they've picked on you because as a wise Frenchman who knows that the benefit of the French nation is arm in arm with the German, they do not understand your stance in this, do they?
I mean, Herr Wagner, I'm operating the hospital that treats wounded German soldiers. My wife has a restaurant. I'm a man of position and recognition in this town, and my signature on this pieces of paper, like I know it's really hard to believe in, but there are a lot of paper in the hospital, and I'm afraid to ask, but do you have time to read fully all the documents that you are being given, especially if there is like a patient on the table waiting to be operated? I'm just like, I'm sorry, I was not aware of this. I will try to be more prudent, but.
So, Mr. Bernard, what you're saying now is that you may have signed it, but inadvertently.
I guess I'm trying to corroborate with you on finding out how are the rebels getting this document signed.
Because if I were in your position, I would wonder who did it, and then I could confirm or deny whether I signed it. But your French ways are alien to me. I really don't understand it. How about this? He, from one of his manila folders, he takes out a list of everyone who has access to, who has a key to the medical cabinets. How about you indicate alongside each of these names whether you did in fact sign or not for their access to be approved. And then we can move forward from there when we know whether you signed for the traitors or not.
Of course. Yes, of course, I will do it. Just please show me the list.
So yeah, the list is, I think it's, relatively long, but includes some fake identities which your compatriots have used. And to be honest, I don't know. Does it seem like you've signed off on all of these people? Probably not. But can you remember, again, like you say, you're so busy. It seems almost inevitable that you will make a mistake trying to recall what you've done, right?
Yeah, I think this is a good moment of drawing the cards.
Yeah.
And seeing how Pierre will handle this.
So. I guess medical training is, doing paperwork as a doctor under pressure. You're signing off and stuff seems like it's relevant, right? To me,
yeah.
I
will use the medical training. Yeah, do I want to spend some fan mail? Yeah, I can spend like one fan mail because I'm trying to not to give up any of the resistance members. So I think I have 5 cards.
Okay, I think the actor playing Herr Wagner is earning his paycheck today, and we have a new location. I might spend 4.
Definitely. And anyone else spending fan mail left or right?
I mean, my impulse is to spend a bunch of fan mail to stop this from happening, but I know that everyone wants to lean into the darker parts of the narrative, so I'm struggling a bit.
That's your influence over the narrative. Spend it however you feel like.
I also don't know how many I have left because I didn't
4.
have trouble. 4. So I'll give 2.
Which way?
Towards you.
Okay.
So, give up the resistance members. Makes me mad.
So 7. So
kill this guy.
So I'll be using 7 cards.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and you get to budget.
Yeah. And I got 2 red. That's versus your 4, and we both got king high. I got
and you win.
Yeah, clubs versus diamonds again. So yes, but
an interesting result. Very good. So plot, you get what you want, but your impulse is provoked. Controlling and cowardly.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
This is an inclination I have that he is very sure that you are telling the truth, that you're not responsible for this, but he sees how scared and cowardly and really out of your depth you are in this situation. Does that gel well with you, or do you want to go a different way?
Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking how we can like push it even more further. That maybe he like has to give up like someone, like not like a lot, but like give up someone, because he's covered that if he doesn't like throw off the blame, that they will like keep him here until he breaks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he is kind of a little bit cowardly, and we want to see it. So yeah, basically, I want to ask Sophie, do you feel like Pierre would like betray your fake identity that you have made for yourself?
Sorry about the hand mute button. I mean, the question is, are we still having the mission together to kill him later? Because if so, probably giving up my fake identity doesn't make sense, unless you think no one will remember my face enough that if I come up with a new one.
I'm sort of like setting you up to have some kind of like an interesting scene, so that maybe.
I'm just thinking in terms of your character. Like, would your character be thinking in terms of this upcoming mission? Or would I be sort of like the first person just because I'd be the easiest person to think of?
Okay. Yeah. So let's change it. I think Pierce gives up someone that works actually in the hospital and supplies, because he feels like Herr Wagner must have another target. So yeah. So we'll go with this route. So yeah, I think Pierre is like working down the list, and then he almost got to the end, and he has like two names over there. One of like latest Sophie fake ID, and then this other person that is like working and supplying the resistance with the medicine, and he has to like we see his hand is like shaking, and he looks at Herr Wagner. And he like looks around, being in this like scary place, and he like points to the other person, not Sophie fake identity, and he says, "Well, I don't remember signing this person. Maybe this is like I don't remember signing up this person's approval."
What do you know about this person?
French first names. I think Roger Thomas. Roger Thomas.
Not Jose. Sorry, I just had to first it.
Roger. I know he works at the in one of the departments. He's a nurse responsible for giving medicine to the patients. But no, let's make it like Roger. He's not supposed to have like access to the medical room. He's how do you call this position? Orderly.
Yeah, an orderly. Okay.
Yeah, he's orderly. He shouldn't have access to this room. Like, this is like really suspicious. I think he's working in the in one of the departments on the ground level, and we really see that Pierre feels like really bad about giving up to someone, but we also see that he's like convinced that either it's like he stays here or that he gives up someone. So
So this is definitely, this conversation that Pierre has had with Sean and Lydia is probably playing in his head again, where who we judge how important we are to the mission, right? And deciding to sacrifice yourself is something that we have to take care with. Okay.
Yep.
I think we probably don't see it, but we understand that Wagner pushes Pierre on everything that he has seen about this guy Roger Thomas in the past.
Mm-hmm.
When he last see him, who he sees him with, if there's anything in Roger's behavior to give him away, Pierre probably gives him more details than he wants, because there's like a quick fire interrogation, and slowly, he's really fearful for himself. More fearful than if he gives Wagner everything. Okay. And Wagner sees that, right? He sees that he has, the squeeze on Pierre. Okay.
Perfect.
Do we end it there in the interrogation scene, or do we and cut to the others, and we can kind of resolve his release or whatever later on?
I think the scene ends by right there. I think he will be released so that he can like interact with other characters, and yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Pearl or David, do you want to go next?
I'd be interested in going next, since I had just asked where Pierre was before, and finding him when he gets back, not knowing what's happened, and sort of questioning him about that, and then seeing how he answers for why she hasn't been able to find him. Thoughts?
Perfect.
So I've probably been stalking around the safe house impatiently, like on and off between taking naps in my little office, increasingly agitated, I would say. I don't know how long you were gone with the Gestapo, so
I think it went all night, and I'm not sure if Pierre would like first thing after being released run to the Rebel HQ, because he would think that he will be at least observed. But I definitely think that we have some way of contacting, and like I'm not sure if we have a fat telephone, but for ease of the setup, he might have like called in, because I don't think it's the age of cyber intelligence. So he could like call in and just like but then he would have an opportunity to like warn people. But maybe this guy isn't like really active. He just like gives stuff, but not like really active in the resistance. But Pierre would definitely call in and inform about the situation, so that if you want, you can like come into Pierre's house. That seems like an appropriate place.
Okay. So yeah, I guess that should be maybe the setting is Pierre's house.
Mm-hmm.
You having called in, and my like sort of just rushing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I like knock furiously on the door. Not furious as in angrily, but like just really frenetically, I guess.
Yeah. Pierre just like opens up. It really shows that he didn't sleep all night, and he says, "Oh, Sophie, yes, please come in."
Okay, come in. You look like hell. What's happened? What's going on?
Oh, I was questioned all night by Herr Wagner.
What?
we had a rat at the hospital. He gave up that I signed all of the approvals to access this to the medical rooms, and he brought me in for questioning.
What the hell? What are we? How did you even get out?
I made a convincing argument. So, do you want the scene to be about Pierre admitting that he gave up someone, or do you want the scene about being about something else?
That's up to you. Question is whether you'd get. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's kind of your call whether or not to give it up, and then I imagine there would be a conflict either way, right? If you do give it up, then I will be reactionary, and if you don't, then you'll have to be evasive and convince me that you somehow just talked your way out of a Gestapo interrogation. So I think either way, there's a conflict to be had.
Cool. Well, Herr Wagner knows me for quite some time, and I made a convincing arguments about forged documents and people giving me a lot of documents. So I had to throw the blame somewhere. So I don't.
So you threw it on my department.
You're
document forgery. So they're going to be looking closely at forged documents now?
What else could I have said? I signed those documents. There's my signature, and...
I don't know. You're the experienced war guy, right? You convinced me that you've been through all this, and that's why you couldn't afford to be all idealistic like I was being. You're supposed to know what to do.
I'm expert at healing people and building bridges. I'm not good in once you have to. Have you ever been in this interrogation room? They have you chained to the table.
No, I haven't. This is what we have to carry out this mission right now. They're gonna come and find me. They're gonna come and find me now because, now their focus is on the documents, and I'm the document person. We need to get this done before they come after me.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good. I suppose that's a good idea. The faster we do it, the less Herr Wagner questions the people on the list that he showed me. So I suppose he will be at the hospital today. So that's. I think we should do it today. Although I'm not sure if they're not even observing the house. It's really hard to say, but yeah, we should do it definitely.
Do you have is there a way to get out of here that isn't... I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you... I don't know what else you were supposed to say, but I feel like you pointed the finger. I don't know. How are we gonna... Now I have to go walking in there like it's nothing, right? And you're already under suspicion. What are we gonna do?
Well, you don't have to go back to the hospital. It will.
No. We're in this together. I know how to build. I can build a bomb. We can put a bomb in Herr Wagner's office. We can make it powerful enough to kill him, but not blow out the walls so we don't harm the patients. I think I know how to do that.
He doesn't have an office on the hospital. He just comes there because there is this missing medicals.
Well, then what do we do?
We can, if you can attach the bomb, we can blow up his car, but it might be hard to make sure that he's in the car when the bomb goes off.
So tell me, how do we kill him? And how do we kill him now?
I just had I haven't slept for 24 hours. My mind isn't really strictly thinking.
Our minds aren't going to be running at all if they kill us. You know. I am very sorry for what happened to you. I sincerely am. And if we figure out who the real rat is, we should take him out as well, as far as I'm concerned. But there's no time now. You're under suspicion. Before we know it, I'm going to be under suspicion. We have to do something with our lives before it's too late.
Yeah. Do you? We can like try to shoot him when he comes to the hospital to arrest people, but or we can like.
Is there a way to draw him? Where could we draw him out near the hospital? Somewhere slightly less obvious, or no? Do we just need to go for it? Maybe we just need to go for it. Maybe I could be the bait.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can like tell you that I've seen you somewhere in the back, in the like behind the hospital, somewhere doing something, and then we can, if with a little bit of luck, we can take his body and dump it in the forest so that he will be at least missing for a couple of days.
Yeah. Tell him that you've seen a suspicious person with my description back behind the hospital looking like they're setting up for something. I'll be fussing around, and then you shoot him. But you can't miss. We've only got one shot, right? So you need to hit him both so we've got him, and also you need to not shoot me because it could get pretty tight, right? And then we're going to take him into the woods and we'll just like bury him. And then this is over.
Yeah, hopefully I will have my scalpel with me, because shooting him will attract a lot of attention. We'll have to like take him down with something quiet. I will take my scalpel.
Can you kill someone quietly with a scalpel?
If you know where to cut perfectly, yes.
Okay.
So when we're talking about the brass tacks of the plan, I feel like the pearl of Pierre convincing Sophie what to do is just past. So should we draw cards for that? This
yes.
is where
I also got confused because the pearl is also.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Like, what?
Damn you, English.
That's okay. Anyway. Yeah, maybe sort of Pierre convincing Sophie that doing it more subtly with like a scalpel rather than just like shooting someone at close range right by a bunch of Germans, which is the reckless but seems more effective option.
I see we can go. I see that this can go both ways. We can either like try to prevent Sophie from like grabbing a machine gun and just like shooting her Wagner and bunch of other Germans in front of the hospital, or we can, if you want, make it about Sophie putting some more pressure on Pierre for him to crack and say that he actually gave up someone. What is more interesting?
Do we have to decide between the two?
I think
I feel like they could be complications of the same. Like, because there's the yes and the no but and the whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like.
But they're mostly about triggering one's impulse, and so we have to like know who's driving cart and for what. And so this is like Pierre's episode. I think that this should be about Pierre like admitting that he gave up someone for his own benefit, out of his own fear, because that's the focus of this episode more.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe.
So a character conflict for Pierre about again being cowardly and just like, or about being bullied and just like controlling and just like shouting on Sophie on like doubting him or something like this. But no, I think it's about cowardly, about him admitting. It would be more interesting.
Yeah. And maybe because Sophie is like ready to storm off with the gun and shoot him and any other Germans in sort of a suicide mission because she's at this point really panicked by having been told that they're going to be focusing on the document forgeries, and she's like still freaked from the bombing and everything else, and you were gone, that she's ready to just go off unhinged. And so you have to, if you're successful, you can find a way to calm her down without just giving into fear. And if not, you just tell her to stop her. But like that means you admit something.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question. David, did you like add my fan mail or not, or did you just write it down in the chat? Because I know that.
Yeah, I added mine.
I did not add mine.
Okay, so I will lower this one and add this one. Cool, thank you. So yes, for a character conflict for Pierre, I have only 3 cards. I don't think anything else applies over here. Do I want to be? Yeah, I will spend like 1 fan mail, so I have a total of 4 cards for my side.
It's just a 2V, and although it's in a new location, which is Pierre's house just adjoining the cafe, or is it, around the corner or down the street or something?
I think it should be like just next to the cafe, like a building next door.
Okay. So I think I'll just spend. It's a very interesting conflict. I think I'll spend 3 budget for 4 cards.
So I have my 4 cards. Oh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And you get 1 budget back. But not good enough.
So
the results. Character. You give it to your impulse, but I think I have ace high, so there's a silver lining. So maybe Sophie doesn't shoot Pierre on sight for being a coward.
that is the silver lining.
Hopefully, and so after like discussing the plan on how to carry on, Pierre says, I want you to know that I had to like give up someone. I told Herr Wagner about Roger, who was supplying us for a lot of time. I just thought that if I don't give up anyone, they will not release me at all. And I just had to give someone up, when you are in this room and they're like putting all of those pressure on you. I didn't give up anyone else from this list, but I had to give up him, and the very thought of what they are going to do to him after they arrest him is terrifying to me. But I had no way.
So you didn't say they were forged documents? You gave up?
I tried explaining everything. They showed me the list with everyone who was registered to have an access to the medical room. I had to pick someone whom I didn't sign to have access to.
Did you let headquarters know? Did you warn him so we can hide?
When I called in to tell about this stuff, I told, but Roger isn't like, I'm not sure if they, I don't know where he lives. I don't have a number to him. Maybe someone at the HQ has. I don't know.
I'm sure they They have to, right? They wouldn't just let someone be taken. They would just let one of us be taken. That's not how we work, right? We're all.
Besides, no, I didn't tell them. No, I didn't tell anyone at the HQ. They are already not trusting me enough. So I just hope that, I don't know what I hope for. I hope that maybe they didn't know that they did it. It's already hard enough. Like, I'm trying to do the good stuff, but
All right.
so no, I didn't. So no, I didn't tell anyone at the HQ about it. Only you know.
This is really upsetting. But all right. So here's what we do. You get some sleep. I'm going to go to HQ and try to warn them that someone has given up Raj. I won't tell them who it was. I'm just going to say that I know, and they can fuck off if they want more information at this point. And then when you've gotten a bit of rest, we're going to the hospital and we're going to kill that son of a bitch.
Thank you, Sophie. Yes, I will. I will take a nap and then shower and be ready in the afternoon.
Okay. Get good sleep. If there's a way to take care of this situation, I'm gonna do it. It's not on you now. All right. You need your rest. You can't be worrying about this. There's no time. If they do get him, the best thing we can do is avenge him by taking care of Herr Wagner. So sleep.
Yeah. When you leave, just go to the cafe and, I don't know, order something. Sit for a moment there so that it doesn't look.
Yep.
If they're observing this place,
Don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. I may not be a doctor, but covert ops is kind of my thing, and I'm not going to rest until this is taken care of.
Good. Thank you, Sophia. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Get some rest. I'm just going to turn around and head to the cafe.
Perfect. Heart and emotional.
Nice. So David, you have an idea for a scene, or do you think maybe just by coincidence that Etienne has something to do with Roger? Coincidentally.
It'd be handy if he's at the cafe and knows Roger enough that I could sort of enlist his help in handling the situation to try to find Roger or people who would know who he is in time to get him to safety.
Yeah, I was actually thinking just kind of a scene of Etienne just doing something fairly petty, like vandalizing a building or something like that.
So, defacing some German propaganda or something like this, or
yeah, that was the sort of thing I was thinking. I'm thinking it's like in the evening down sort of at the docks, and yeah, I think he's going to try and like basically sneak into the German, maybe not into the German naval base itself, but certainly around the German naval base to like, but it's probably going to be more along the lines of like, painting slogans rather than actually committing sabotage, because I think this is definitely something he's doing off his own bat rather than a mission that he has been sort of tasked and equipped with.
Okay, so this is like him blowing off steam and acting out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Is there anyone going with him, or is it just Is this a solo?
I think it's just him. Yeah, I think this is a solo thing. Yeah. So I think it's like it's evening. It's not like kind of it's later on in the evening. It's not like sort of midnight, but some point like in the late evening. And I think he's literally kind of he's probably grabbed like a few tools from like one of the tool sheds that he can get into. And I think, he's probably, just kind of hunkered down by a storage shed of some sort, of watching the naval base, looking for kind of an opportunity to get in.
Yeah, so I think maybe the obvious. I think where the kind of opportunity here is like the obvious act of vandalism is really straightforward, but then there's maybe an opportunity for him to bite off more than he can chew, or to have a direct confrontation that maybe he hasn't thought through. What do you think?
Yeah, I think something like that could be good. Yeah.
So maybe there's some posters, and you're doing silly graffito on them, just to make those heroic Aryan types look a little bit foolish. And then a Kubel wagon pulls up around the corner, and you hear some soldiers get out and kind of go into a bar, but they maybe left the engine idling. Maybe they're just going in for a quick one, but they have left you with a gilt-edged opportunity to go on a joyride, or to drive through some obstacle, or to cause some havoc.
Yeah, and I think Etienne is going to. Yeah, I think he has just, like I said, been just defacing some posters sort of around the base, and I think he's going to like creep up and sort of get up against the wall of the bar and just sort of look around and wait a moment to see that, and obviously someone's not coming like straight back out again. And yeah, I think he's going to head towards the car and try and get into it. Oh, well, I mean, it's a try, and I mean, it's an open top one, I guess. So yeah, he's going to like jump into the seat and kind of do that thing of like slouching down a bit, so he's like slightly less noticeable. But again, it's like an open topped thing, so
yeah. So where do we think Etienne is going to try to cause that havoc?
Yeah, so I think what he's going to do is I think he's going to try and drive it through the through sort of a section of the fence around the naval base itself, and I think he knows that where there's like a loading crane sort of thing for loading munitions and stuff onto the boats. That's when it's not in active use, it's not on sort of, it's somewhere that's probably not going to be heavily guarded. And I think his intent is to just basically ram this vehicle into the loading crane.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, is that a good time to draw cards to see how that's going to go?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay. I feel like this is kind of high budget. This is shenanigans extraordinaire, but I don't want to wail too much on a spotlight one. So let's say, just take a look at my budget. My budget is, okay, I'll spend 2.
Cool. I think I'm going to. I refreshed my Plucky Young Revolutionary for second scene here. But I'm going to tick that and my Naval Mechanic one because I think both kind of play into this.
Yeah.
So that takes me up to 3 as well, and I think I will. Sorry, and I think I will spend. I'll spend 1 fan mail on that. So it brings me up to 4. Well, I've got a queen high. That's the best that can be said.
Okay, 1 red, a 4, and your almost every other card you drew was higher than mine, but yes. So that's firmly in the no but category for this. Which I guess is you give into your impulse, but there is a silver lining. I think we've seen a lot of that today, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was thinking this one was more of a plot one than a character one. Sorry. So
yeah. So you don't get you want, but you keep it together. Okay. So I guess you're the kind of the severe vandalism, the sabotage of this, pretty vital piece of equipment in the dock doesn't go, but you I don't know, maybe you get away with this, you keep it together, you can escape.
Yeah, I think that works. I think maybe I think because of what he does, I think that Etienne can drive, but like the execution of this doesn't go as well as anticipated. I think he probably managed to hit through the chain link fence, but kind of it catches in the wheels a bit, sends him off. And there's lots of those the mooring posts, the big metal bits and pieces, and I think he basically just takes like the basically the undercarriage of the Jeep out on one of them that he doesn't see in the sort of because again he won't have put the lights on obviously, so he's sort of kind of driving in the gloom. So I think it kind of totals the car, and I think the noise has attracted attention, and we sort of see like guards start to run towards him, but he kind of realizes that it's sort of the game's up, and sort of bails and manages to run away and slip into the night before the guards catch up with him.
So like after the initial confusion of maybe they suspect it's just some drunk German soldier going a little bit missing the gate, and the searchlights kind of reach out to get you, but you run for it. Are you like diving into the water or just running for some kind of warren of loading crates, or how do you use them?
Oh yeah, I quite like I think we see Etienne sort of starting to sort of dive go through some between some crates and stuff, but I think we see him as he sort of gets towards the edge of the base itself. I think we see him kind of slip off his boots, sort of tie them over his shoulders, and dive into the water of the harbour.
And there's then I think when we see his head bob up above the water, the full alert, the sirens go and searchlights everywhere, and like picking out the crashed car, and then maybe like we see like the 3 or 4 drunken soldiers come out of the bar of their interrupted pub crawl, like to confusion and probably some severe admonishment, of their disgraceful behavior, Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think end of Act 2. We take a break. We want to come back on the hour. Is that okay for everyone? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
we need to shuffle the cards because there are only 3 cards left.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, David, with your voice?
I can find the right window again. Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I'm not really feeling all that ill. It's just, like I said, my throat's going a bit. Yeah, thankfully I've not had much of a fever or anything else, but it's just it's just been.
Hi, sorry about that. I don't know if any of you saw my message in the Slack. Basically, I had a not understanding how Austrian kitchens work situation briefly there, and wanted to make sure I wasn't going to burn my friend's apartment down. But I think all's well. The microwave seems to have stopped running itself for no reason that I could discern. So back to the action.
In my experience, any kitchen not your own works strangely. That's the
Yeah, I think I microwaved my hand. I don't know if that is going to have some sort of long-term repercussion. It was a really weird situation. I was trying to turn the microwave off and it just didn't seem to be off. All the, I hit the thing, all the lights went off, as though it were off, and yet it was still making noise and the inside lights were on. And I was like, this doesn't seem right. And it was and I was like, And so I opened the door because usually that would stop a microwave. And it was definitely still and the light was still on. And I was like, and so I stuck my hand in to see if it felt hot because apparently I'm that tired. So that's how I decided to test it. And I was like, hey, my hand feels funny. So then I pulled my hand back out and I messaged you all that I needed to take a moment because I didn't. And it just turned itself off a minute later. I'm at a loss. The ways of Austria are foreign to me. And my hand.
and strange microwaves, yeah. there's this
What
scene.
microwave
Yeah.
doesn't turn
Yeah,
off
yeah.
when you hit the off button repeatedly and you open the door?
Yeah.
Like, where are the safety features, people?
There is a scene in an Ian M. Banks novel, The Use of Weapons, which describes exactly why the strangeness of not putting your hand in the dangerous thing. But
I have done other stupid things like that, and like tested whether something was sharp by like poking myself with it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't have a normal sense of preservation, like self-preservation, the way people do. But I have never microwaved my hand before, though. That was a new one. I did not think it was possible, literally, because I thought all microwaves shut off when you open the door. So, if next week I come back and I have like tentacle fingers, presumably that's why, because I like radiated my hand. I'm so dumb. I'm a cellist, or was, until I stopped being a real person. But eventually, I'd like to have my career back, and I really need this hand to function. So just keep your fingers crossed for me and out of a microwave.
But
Well,
just
the prosthetics can be so much more useful than our just 5 fingers.
That's true. This is my bow hand, so it's like it's a little bit like more. I feel like better this hand than this hand.
I was just about to say, imagine how good the fingering will be if there's tentacles. You're gonna.
That is true. Well, yeah, maybe I've lost out. But maybe I could play it like all guitar, like finger style guitar, because I'll have like 3 tentacles for every string.
Just become a bass player, right? That's.
I played bass for a year. The blisters were unreal. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
The octopuses are very famous drummers. I think they were in 2 movies over the past 2 years. In Black Panther and in Aquaman, the octopus were playing on the drums. So tentacles and music goes together.
Yeah, they have a leg up or multiple legs up. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm tired and I radiated my hand. I don't know what's going on anymore. But I still want to kill Herr Wagner. Well, I still have the power in my hand to do it. Maybe this will become useful in some fashion.
Okay. Where were we? Yes, Herr Wagner.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So, who wants to jump into it?
I feel like it should not be me because I'm still having trouble not giggling, and it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it sometimes takes me a minute. So, maybe somebody else should have a scene.
Yeah, I'm just thinking on how to frame this big climax and resolution over here. Yeah, I think we should go with what the plan was. So the scene will happen when Herr Wagner gets to the hospital. So I suppose it can be any time, depending from. But since I'm setting the scene, I think I think Roger has afternoon shifts. So Pierre and Sophie are totally expecting Herr Wagner to come to the hospital in the afternoon. This afternoon. And there's a bunch of people, but from notable NPCs, there's Herr Wagner. I suppose he does have some soldiers with him, and there is me and Sophie, and the plan is to lure Herr Wagner out and just kill him with the scalpel. I think that's what can go wrong. I'm really curious because I usually try to not put the stakes. Can we do this thing? But in this situation, I'm really curious how this will go, and I will leave it to the cards whether we manage to kill him with the scalpel or not. Because then I'm really hoping Sophie can brought up the machine gun and just shoot at them all. Who knows what will happen? yeah, I think So
If
this
it's
will be
ever
a
going to
plot-
happen, tonight's the night.
So this will be a plot scene where Pierre like really wants to like get this done quietly, and we maybe like see him in his like white doctor's uniform, and he like hides the scalpel over here somewhere, I think we see that under the coat he just like checks that he has his gun somewhere over here on the belt, but under the coat, and I think we see Pierre just like leaves his office and he goes to meet Herr Wagner to tell him that he has seen. I'm not sure where the Roger fits in this in the scene, but yeah.
I mean, I'm almost inclined to say, as soon as the Gestapo get a name, he is, hunted down, and either he has gone to ground or he is picked up. But if you want him to be here, maybe this is where when Wagner is going to pick him up and arrest him, maybe they couldn't find him until he came to work. Maybe that's the deal we have.
Yeah, I think we can totally make a reason that maybe Roger lives outside of town and he just comes here. So they plan to maybe they plan to like follow him, not to outright arrest him, but like tries to like see what he does today and like follow him. So there's definitely like increased German soldier presence, and then the Herr Wagner.
Okay, cool. So this is kind of almost like the conversation is to make sure that Wagner is not so suspicious that he will not put himself within scalpel distance of you, right?
The idea is to like lure him out through some back entrance from the hospital, because for some reason I envision that maybe we have like some part of a forest or a city park behind the hospital, and there we can like hope not to murder him on the street, but kill him there and then just try to hide the body in the car, leave with the car. Who knows? But for some reason I envision that behind the hospital there is like a foresty area where we can like lure him there and then just try to silently dispose of him there. So
I think you might have a hospital which has like an enclosed garden. If it's an old hospital, it could have some setup like that, and maybe it's not quite so security conscious. There's the possibility of people seeing you there, but it's not like you are constantly within seconds of being, interrupted by a guard or something.
Yeah, makes sense. And then we could like try to put his body into the car, but that's going too far. We need to like lure him somewhere where he's like outside of the site where he could officially vanish.
Yeah.
And that's Pierre's objective, to just like, get him there and then just finish him off with a scalpel.
Okay, cool. So I think maybe you come across him looking at some paperwork. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's looking at a personnel file for Roger. Mm-hmm. And he looks up to see, I think Pierre is probably still tired and a little bit bedraggled. He looks up and gives you a wink, as if you are co-conspirators in something.
Yes, and Pierre approaches Herr Wagner, and he says, "Good afternoon, Herr Wagner," and he, I think he will make us a small talk, but we pick up again at the small talk when Pierre just like leans in and he says, "From the list you have shown me before, I thought about some of the names on the list, and there was this name, and I just like say the name of the fake identity of Sophie, which I don't think we registered you as a Sophie Garnier. I think it was some fake ID. So
Was it a German name? I can't remember. I think in your guise,
it was like Anna something, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And Pierre gives. I've been thinking about this name, Anna. She's a new person, and I've seen her like with this. I've seen her in the, how do you call this, like place where I want to lure him? It's like enclosed area, open area. How would we call it?
I guess just the gardens, maybe something simple.
I think I've seen her. I think I've seen her in the gardens with like a rather large bag. After the list you have shown me, I'm suspecting everyone to be like working for the resistance and stealing from the hospital. But I don't want to throw false accusations. So maybe you can go with me and we can like see what she does. And maybe caught her red-handed. That's something that you probably would like, Herr Wagner.
Well, I mean, proof is secondary to suspicion in my books. I would rather just arrest her and we can get the truth out of her in the interrogation room. Isn't that right, Pierre?
Yeah. Pierre just like acts like he's very uncomfortable, but there is like some true feeling under this uncomfortable, but he like overreacts it. And yes, of course, I'm sure if she gets there, if she's any guilty, she will like confess. So should I lead you to where I have seen her, so that we can apprehend her?
Well, he clicks his fingers at two of the soldiers who are hanging around nearby and says, please, why don't you follow the doctor and he will identify someone to be arrested and brought to the HQ.
Aren't you coming with us, Herr Wagner?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I'll be any help in this. I really should. We really need to find this other fellow, this Roger. He seems to be a little bit elusive. But in any regard, I'm not the arresting type. I clean up afterwards.
Of course. Yes, let's go to the gardens.
So you don't want to draw in order to get him to give up this course of action or to go with you, or do you want?
I'm kind of out of arguments.
Oh, okay.
It's not like I can apply pressure to a Gestapo officer.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, do you think your argument should have been more effective? Do you really want to get him to go with you straight away, like you suggested?
I think that movie-wise, it's an interesting plot twist, and as a continuation of the scene, we can like see us walking the gardens, searching, walking the wrong parts of the gardens where I know that Sophie isn't, because I didn't brought her Wagner, so we like wander, search for her, and maybe we like Pierre cannot like go and talk to Sophie, so maybe like Sophie's like following Pierre, and now the plan is to like just like get her Wagner somewhere one-on-one in the hospital, and then just like stop him. So like in the action movie, this is like we need like change the plan, improvising, and then just like them wondering about coming back, and then just like now trying to like get her Wagner into some room personally, and then just like finish him off.
So maybe in the kind of extemporize your plan when you come up with this kind of problem is now you have removed his guards, so now he is alone back in the hospital.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I told them to just check the other part of the garden because I have operation and I just can't wander about and I will return,
Okay.
grab Sophie and hoping that the guards are still wandering the gardens.
Okay, so how about the test is to make sure that these guards are happy to go searching by themselves and let you back to find Sophie and to escape back to the hospital proper. Does that seem like a good test?
Looking at that, I don't have more scenes in this episode. If we don't finish it up in my scene, it will it leaves the only two
Yeah,
other
it's
scenes to finish
it's a bit flat. Okay, so yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, so I think maybe just let's have a quick kind of meet-up scene with you and Sophie, and then you can make your way back to the hospital by yourselves to find Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe at some stage we are crossing over into Sophie's scene. I don't know what makes the most sense. But anyway, let's. Do you wanna have a quick?
Yeah. So I suppose Pierre finds Sophie in the other part of the gardens where the guards are not, and he says he's stubborn. He wouldn't come out here. We need to get inside and try to get him in one of the rooms. Unless you don't want to go and you want me to go in alone and finish him off. Yeah, there are some soldiers inside, so I don't know. Just take your machine gun. I don't know what will come, how this will go inside the hospital. But just have your machine gun.
What do you think is in this bag on my back exactly?
Yes, of course.
A scalpel, you said. Yes. Scalpel.
Yes. I haven't done this sort of operations for years. Yes, let's go. So we go back in.
I'm gonna let you lead the way since you know the hospital grounds and gardens and whatnot. But I have one hand sort of at the zipper.
Okay.
Towards my back, and we'll pull it out at the first sign of trouble unless there's a reason not to.
Perfect.
I figure I shouldn't walk around with it in my hands. That feels like a little bit too obvious. So
yeah, definitely.
This is when we segue to Kill Bill montage, right?
Turns out I have 80 weapons hidden on my person.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're leading the way? We're going?
Yeah.
You draw cards here?
Yeah, this we can draw cards here. And the stake is whether we can get him into some room and then just finish him off, or maybe if we don't get it, he's already gone or he's too well guarded and we'll have to try another way.
Okay.
It's perfectly fine to draw cards here.
Yeah, cool. So I think this is big budget time, right? We have machine guns and guards and shenanigans. So
yeah, I think that both my retired combat engineer makes sense and medical training.
Let me see. Launch the right. Excuse me. Get the right tab open on the keeper. Sorry. So tradecraft seems reasonable.
You can only help with your fan mail if you want.
Oh, I forgot it wasn't both of us who were up against this. So, yeah. So I will spend 3 fan mail because we're about to be up against, I'm guessing, an astronomical amount of cards. And as much as I would love to just open fire on a whole giant space full of Nazis, that seems like a great way to get my character written out of the series. So I'm just going to throw some fan mail at this.
There's a maximum number of cards I can spend in any scene, and it's 5, so I'll spend 5.
Okay.
So it's only 6 that you're up against.
Yes. So you are spending 3, Sophie, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I subtracted this from your count. So I have 5 myself, plus 3 is 8.
Yeah. Get him. Wagner's going down.
Yeah, I'm going to spend 2 of myself, so it brings us to 10 cards.
That does.
That's a massive budget scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Submit. Wow. After this 5 cards, only 1 is red, so you get 1 budget.
Okay.
But a total of 4 red cards. Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay.
Now I need to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red cards.
10. So I think you won.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you get only 4.
And my ace is higher than your ace, I think.
Diamonds over space, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Y'all are lucky I was muted just then. I just wish to point out.
We don't want to be cheated out of proper curses. Come on.
It was more the high-pitched. I feel like it would have blown out all of your headsets.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay. So that is...
So you don't get what you want, and your impulse is provoked.
Okay. So I think like this is like you can't get him alone in that room to attack him with a scalpel and stop me, Pearl, if I'm like painting Sophie into a corner. But I think that's like her cue to pull out the submachine gun and to let rip, right?
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah,
Where
okay.
exactly are we, and who all is here at this point?
You're like, I don't know, in the middle of a corridor, there, or at a nurse's station or something like this.
Great. This is terrific. Just what I wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as long as Herr Wagner's here.
So you don't get to what you want, right? Which is I
thought what we wanted was to get him alone and get rid of him quietly.
Yeah. So you don't. There's nothing quiet about this.
But he's here, right?
But he's here, and your scene is right after this. But I think, like, we're describing this kind of cacophony of sound as you go burn through your first magazine of bullets.
I'm aiming at him.
You're aiming at him. And you're I don't know, maybe you're killing a couple of Nazis, right? But not this specific Nazi, right?
All the Nazis.
Oh, okay. And I think he's, I think he does something really kind of nasty. Like he grabs one of his guards and puts him in front of him, and you definitely kill that guy.
Weak.
And in kind of the exploding scenery, he kind of scrabbles out of sight, and you hear him shouting as he runs down the corridor.
I'm like, Pierre, don't let him get away.
And in terms of provoking your impulses, are we going for cowardice in this firefight, or what, how are we dealing with that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. This is like crushing for Pierre, the revolutionary. He's such a best revolutionary. Yeah, I think before Sophie pulls out the machine gun and starts shooting, I think we see like Pierre just like approaching her Wagner, and we see like he takes out the scalpel, but then he just like, we see him struggling, and Pierre just like doesn't find the courage to just like finish him off in the like public open space, and then probably like Sophie starts unleashing, seeing that he like chicken out at the last moment. Wow, I'm like really curious toward the end. Will he shoot her Vader in the back? He is cowardly. And he's like, I don't know how to say what happens toward the end. Yeah, I think maybe we see like toward the end, Pierre just like takes out the gun and shoots her Wagner in the back as he's approaching. But then I think he loses it and just like runs out, just like drops the gun, runs out, and like his worst nightmares came to true. Like burn his identity, like everyone will remember this, and yeah.
So I think I'm inclined to cut to a scene with Etienne now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Just leave me,
just leave you
with a shotgun in a room full of Nazis. No big.
If that's all right with you, David.
It is, though I don't have a strong idea of what I want to do with it. I was also thinking it would be cool to kind of have a cutaway scene, something a bit more, low key. But you said I don't have a strong idea of what.
I think you said you wanted to engage in the relationship with Remy. So maybe that's a good point. Like,
yeah, that
you could be confiding in Remy about your conversation that you and I had, and then turning to him for the sort of support I turned to you for.
Yeah,
you could turn all like.
Yeah, I just feel like kind of the conversation I had in the first scene, sort of. I'm not sure where. Yeah.
You could tell him about your vandalism.
I don't have a strong. I don't really have anything I can think of that leads into any conflicts. The problem.
Do you think he would approve of the vandalism thing? Because your conversation with him was sort of the impetus for that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like speedballing over here. We could put you in the car outside of the hospital, just like our escape route. But I'm also not sure what would be the conflict over there, because I don't want to push you with like one car towards something serious.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was also sort of thinking that could be something that would work as a scene, but yeah, again, I don't.
We'd have to figure out what happened with me first, probably, before, unless y'all just leave me in the hospital. I don't know, but it feels like we should probably, before escaping from the hospital, establish what actually happened. Not now necessarily. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want us to come back to you, David, if you think mulling it over will help, or.
To be honest, I know this isn't heroic, but I'd rather be given a scene to do, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm just really struggling to come up with a compelling idea of what to do.
I mean, unless it's a scene with someone else in the cell who is like chewing out Etienne for doing this dangerous.
Yeah, that could work.
That was not approved,
Yeah, no, that's cool. That would be good.
Or Roger, if you want to be trying to save Roger. Like I went away from Pierre's house saying like I was going to tell people.
Yeah.
So
And I think maybe getting reprimanded could be a good scene.
Yeah. Okay. So, how about? I mean, we have not seen Andre Dubois on screen at all, really. He is the, I guess, head of the cell. This retired general. The leader of the Gaullists, and that again is a conflict with
that's cool.
with Etienne's communist self, right? So maybe let's have a scene like that. So, maybe just while this operation is going on, or somewhat beforehand, you're called. People let you know that Andre wants to see you. That's probably notable enough to give Etienne pause, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, he will, go to the meeting, because obviously, it's it's he's been called in by the boss, so
so yeah, I think Andre is definitely like an older man, maybe with a remind myself. Yeah, so like a full beard, definitely of an age with veterans of the First World War, known as a staunch Gaullist. A bit of a, I don't know, stick in the mud is probably what all of the communists in the cell think of him. Conservative, the kind of person they might have been fighting against in previous years. Etienne, thanks for presenting yourself before me. Such a timely fashion.
Of course, sir. What do you want of me?
Well, this escapade of yours down by the docks last night. Who put you up to it?
I was just over there, and the opportunity came up. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to stir things up a bit for the Germans.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's particularly wise, given that you accomplished nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped.
I mean, these kind of things I often find would be best planned out and coordinated with others in the cell. Maybe a bit of backup might have helped.
Of course, I wouldn't have set out to do this, like I did. But as I say, the opportunity presented itself. I figured it was worth taking the risk for, even if it didn't play out.
I mean, I don't know exactly. Well, I mean, I was young once. I understand the desire to strike in an immediate fashion, but getting our hands on a German vehicle, who knows what was in the glove compartment? Who knows what was in the back seat? These are the kind of assets that we often need for operations. It sounds very boring, doesn't it? That mere intelligence, a vehicle would be valuable to us, rather than crashing it into a concrete pylon. Sometimes revolution is boring, young man.
I think I'm going to draw there. Actually, I think that seems like the
Yeah, just the thing to drive at his self doubt,
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Let me just look at my budget. Let's see what's left. Okay, I think I'll spend 2.
And I'll spend 1 of my fan mail, which will bring me up to a total of 2. I'll just clear these ones out. Yep. Well, it's a high ace, but once again all black.
Okay. Okay, 2 reds, a king and an ace as well. But yeah, your ace is still trumping mine. So
That's
that is a no but, right?
yeah. Yeah, I give in to my impulse, but there's a silver lining. So yeah, I think the Etienne and he possibly almost does actually like stamp his foot, but he says, "Look, General, I can do more than just the jobs I've been sent on. I want to fight, and I'm not. So yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe I messed things up, but just give me something to do and a real job, and I can do it. And we've just been sitting here doing nothing for so long. We have to start acting now."
Well, I mean, I don't want to throw away young people's lives under my care for no purpose. But believe me, we have not been doing nothing. We have been building for the future that is imminent. We've been. I won't explain myself to you, but I will. I will take your spirit of volunteerism. I will think of you next time we have a mission that requires some kind of gumption, some kind of old the old idealized heroism that I thought we'd lost. I will call on you next time we have a dangerous mission, Etienne. Thank you.
Thank you, General. He'll say, and I think he'll start. I think he'll sort of turn to the door, and he'll already be opening it when he kind of pauses and says, "Was there anything else, sir?"
No, there wasn't. That was all.
Yeah, and he'll kind of head out of the door, and you'll probably get that kind of last shot of him looking kind of halfway between, like, pleased with how that went, and the also the sudden like dawning realization of what he's just done.
May you gain the attention of people in high places. Cool. Okay. Well, let's cut back to the hotel of all the special effects. So yeah, we have, a couple of Germans mown down, one shot on the back, maybe a couple of injured patients or hospital staff. And what's our scene with Sophie?
What is our scene with Sophie? So I guess we were in like a hallway nursing station area.
Yeah, I think a fairly open area with, a desk. And, I guess the kind of clump of casualties are right near that. And then there's, around the corner and down the corridor, 20 yards is our shot in the back, Herr Wagner.
So our target has been hit.
Yeah.
I think if I see anyone else who's obviously a Nazi at this point, I'm going to shoot them because I've been shooting everybody. I might as well shoot the last remaining Nazis.
Okay.
But if they are all shot, then
I mean, if they are not shot, I mean, I'm perfectly happy for you to narrate a where eagles dare, Clint Eastwood-esque, just shooting the shit out of Nazis scene. But I guess is the conflict you holding back enough to escape, or helping Pierre to escape, or
Pierre's already run off, as I recall, without me.
Okay.
So
yeah, Pierre gave in to his cowardice and he just run away.
Yeah. So I think unless someone wants me to do something else, I start stalking the hall looking for Nazis, because at this point I figure I'm essentially dead no matter what, and I want to take out as many as I can with me.
Okay.
But I'm not going to shoot anyone who isn't obviously a Nazi, because some people could just be Frenchmen, doing their hospital business. But if anyone is wearing Nazi regalia or otherwise seeming Nazi-ish, I'm just going to try to find them and shoot them, sort of kamikaze style.
So is this the character conflict that says, will Sophie allow herself to escape? Or
yeah, I think that is probably it. If I pass a doorway to the hospital that I could just run out of and try to go into hiding for a while, will I take it, or have I just gone off the deep end at this point? So I guess making my way through the hospital, eventually I'll pass some doors. I am hopefully catching some Nazis unaware on the way and just shooting them. I think probably Sophie's dissociated to some degree at this point.
Okay.
Acting on instinct without much emotion or thought, really. But when she gets to the doors, when I get to the doors, it kind of snaps me out of it for a second when I realize I could leave. And that's probably what I should draw cards on.
Yeah. I mean, on the way there, are there any kind of close calls where maybe you don't shoot someone you should, or do shoot someone you shouldn't, or is it?
I think it's more that the close calls are that I'm just wandering around the hospital with a machine gun shooting people and not trying to be sneaky about it. I think by the time I get to these doors, it's just probably lucky that nobody saw me before I saw them, more than that there's a specific moment of conflict before, because then I'd probably draw cards on that. And I think the more interesting thing is actually whether I'm able to stop and not one individual person.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so I think Sophie's lucky enough that in the chaos, lots of people are probably running around, but she has managed to shoot whoever she's attempted to shoot before they could shoot her, and other people ran away screaming, probably, because no one expects a shot, machine gun in the hospital hallway, so people are unprepared. And then the double doors at the front are in front of me, but I know there are still Nazis in this hospital.
Okay.
And they've all seen who I am. So I would like to draw a plot, obviously, based on my character
Yeah.
flaw thing. And I don't know if any of my edges or anything come into play. I mean, spycraft only comes into play if I don't give in, but I guess if it does, then my ability to like get out the doors and like get away before anyone can find me would come into play. I think at this point we're beyond charismatic and convincing, probably.
Yeah.
So I would say I would use one from Tradecraft, and a couple of fan mail, probably. It seems like a big deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Like 3 fan mail, and my 1 edge that I think is applicable. So that's 5 cards total. Is that right?
6. 2 for your spotlight, right? You're.
Oh, right. Okay.
And you can have one fan mail from me as well.
Thank you. So 7 total cards.
Okay. I've got 4 left in the budget, so I guess I better spend it.
Might as well.
Use it or lose it. That's what I keep telling myself. So that's 5 for me. So do you want to go first?
Sure. All right, so that's 4 reds, and the highest is a queen.
And I got 3 reds, and the highest is a queen. Your hearts beats my spades, so you get a big yes and. I love that.
So
you resist your impulse. So I guess you do
and
take the
keep
door
it together.
And keep it together. Yeah.
Maybe I shoot one last Nazi if he comes around the corner. But yes,
there's a guy at the door who was being smarmy to you last time. So
yeah,
So, I don't
he's
know.
definitely a Nazi, and he's between me and the door, so it only makes sense.
Yeah.
One last Nazi. You always got to get in that last one. But then I run out the door, and can we just, for the sake of ease in the fiction, say that there's like a big fountain in front of the hospital, and I like toss the gun into the fountain, hoping that will obscure the evidence at least a little bit. I mean, everyone's seen my face, so, but the last thing I need is to run through town with a machine gun, and like throw the bag for it off to, and then run actually into the woods, because I'm going to try to take like a secret route to get to the safe house.
Okay. Is there I guess that's when I think probably in the episode, right, you chuck the gun in the fountain and walk through, and you're just obscured by the water, and that's like the end of the episode, right? Is there anything like, obviously it's not something we're gonna hear unless there's a voiceover, right? But like, is there any moment like when you're at that door before you take the exit that like makes you take the exit instead of keep going? Or what's the internal kind of the resolution of that internal conflict like?
It's basically like there are a lot more Nazis to be killed outside this hospital than inside this hospital. So the rest are going to have to wait for another day, but I'll be back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's the episode. And
I do this when I'm walking off because I'm Carrie Fisher style.
and maybe like as Sophie is walking out, we hear like the sirens of like incoming cars, and we have like a shot on the hospital, like carnage, like some windows are like shut off, like somebody's like somebody is just like hanging from the balcony on the upper floor, and just like total mayhem, like the hospital.
The most violent I've ever been in any game I've ever played. Like,
it's for good cause, though, right?
It is, though.
Yeah.
Anytime you can kill a Nazi, kill a Nazi. That's the way it goes. And I did.
Yeah. Okay, so next time on Resistance, do you want to do a quick roundtable on that?
I'm just doing the family business.
Oh yeah, I should do that too.
You spent how much should we subtract from your family pool?
I spent 3, I think.
Okay, so you get 1 from me, and now you spent 3, so you're down to 4, I think.
Yeah. Unless the one from David was before that.
I just added that, so yes, that's right.
Next time on. Yeah, wow, that's really complicated. Next episode, Pierre is not really relevant, but I think it should be like really cool. Yeah, I think the scene next time on is Pierre and Sophie bump into each other at the Resistance HQ, and it's like this like awkward silence between them, and yeah.
I think the scene for Etienne is we have like Etienne and a German soldier like almost like bumping into each other, but coming obviously like both sort of surprising the other. We see them both raise guns at each other, and then we have one of those classic, fairly tight in shots that just shows both of their faces, and we hear the gunshot go off. So it's uncertain as to who gets shot.
That's scary. I think next time we see Sophie in sort of a bathtub, but like maybe it's like a closet, it's slightly rusty at the edges. It's like the safe house bathtub. Like curled into a little ball, hugging her knees, while some anonymous resistance person is like sponging blood off of her as she's just gotten back.
Awesome. Okay, great episode. I'll stop recording.